Sorry, leader. Sorry. Do you want to leave now? I am not having that shouting like that again. Are you going to answer me? Right, okay, apologies taken.
Watch how the House of Commons erupts into chaos as the government suddenly changes parliamentary business, prompting furious accusations that Labour is avoiding scrutiny. MPs clash over transparency, accountability, and whether Parliament is being prevented from holding the next Prime Minister to account before the summer recess. Before we continue, hit like and subscribe to Britain Daily for more explosive political coverage. Let's watch this explosive clip.
We now come to the statement. Leader of the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With permission, I'll make a short statement to provide an update on tomorrow's business. The business for tomorrow, Wednesday the 15th of July, will now be a general debate on Iran, followed by...
Sorry, leader. Sorry. Do you want to leave now? I am not having that shouting like that again. Are you going to answer me? Right, okay, apologies taken. Leave the House.
Mr. Speaker, the House will rise for the summer recess at the conclusion of business on Thursday the 16th of July and return on Tuesday the 1st of September, and I will make a further business statement on Thursday.
Shadow Leader of the House, Jesse Norman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a total humiliation and embarrassment for the government. Yesterday, they published an emergency change to government business in order to ram the Hillsborough Law through this House with no notice and an absolute minimum of scrutiny. Now they have backtracked again on their own business and cancelled the opposition day, which they themselves had scheduled. Now, why is that, Mr. Speaker? Let me read the motion that caused so much consternation in the Whip's office and in number 10, that this House calls on the government to bring forward a motion to change the date it adjourns to Monday, 20th of July, to enable the new Prime Minister to make a statement about his plans for government. In other words, the government changed the business. It refused even to delay the activity of this House by one day in order to permit the Prime Minister, as he will be, to take a statement and to answer questions as to his intentions and plans. The government has a majority of more than 150, Mr. Speaker, and it could not trust its MPs to vote the right way on that motion. And it could not bear the idea of a new Prime Minister facing any scrutiny before September. A Prime Minister, let me remind us all, who has been chosen by a coronation, not a contest, with no known platform, almost no known policies, and no idea of his priorities or indeed his cabinet team. They pushed us, Mr. Speaker, to take an opposition day tomorrow. They cannot bear the scrutiny, and now they're cancelling it. And to do so, hiding under the, I'm afraid, thoroughly distastefully, under the news, the very distressing news that's happening in Iran, when they could have framed a statement today from a minister or tomorrow on this issue, is, I think, completely disreputable. They're not even cancelling it, Mr. Speaker, for legislation. They could have kept the Representation of the People Act. They're cancelling it for a general debate with no votes. Mr. Speaker, it's the worst possible exit for a Prime Minister, the desperate attempt to create a legacy as though this could alter 2 solid years of failure. And it is the worst possible start for a new Prime Minister. People across this country will see what has happened, and they will conclude that this is a man who is fricked, running scared of public scrutiny before he can even take office.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If I may introduce some facts into the situation. He reads out, Mr. Speaker, a motion which he tells us was to be tabled for tomorrow. I have to say it's the first I've heard of the words of a motion, because Mr. Speaker, no such motion was tabled for the opposition tomorrow. It was not tabled for tomorrow. We did not see the words of the motion. A decision was made on whether or not the House should debate an unfolding international crisis or not.
Katie Lamb.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To ask the Home Department if it will make a statement on whether the government is planning to change the law to deport Rochdale grooming gang leader Shabir Ahmed.
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The grooming gang scandal was and will forever be one of the darkest moments in our nation's history. And I know for those affected it will have been unbelievably painful to learn that one of the perpetrators was due for release from prison. Having been convicted in 2012, Shabir Ahmed has served the custodial element of his sentence. Having arrived in the UK before 1971, he is exempt from deportation due to Section 7 of the Immigration Act. This Act preserved the rights of Commonwealth and Irish citizens who were already in the UK when the Act took effect on the 1st of January 1973. This is not a loophole, Mr. Speaker. The provisions of Section 7 were put in place to protect existing rights for an identified cadre of Commonwealth citizens, most notably the Windrush generation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Shabir Ahmed has committed some of the most despicable crimes imaginable. He's been released from prison, but now we are told that he will not be deported because of a provision in the 1971 Immigration Act. The idea that he might be allowed to stay in this country because of a clause in a decades-old law designed for a completely different time and context is not just absurd, but sickening. As recently as 2023, parole officers concluded that Ahmed poses, and I quote, a very high risk of serious harm to children. How can he possibly be allowed to walk the streets again? When the law produces an outcome which is so clearly so wrong, the law must be changed. And the government must now change this law to make sure that we can remove Ahmed. The argument for deporting Ahmed is clear, and the mechanism has already been created. All that remains in question is whether the government has the will to act. If so, then we will be happy to support them. If it does not, people across this country will rightly ask, as they already are, whether this is a government that can really keep the British people safe.
I'm grateful for the Honourable Lady's question and subsequent follow-up. I might gently say there was, of course, a significant period of time between conviction and the change of government where these changes weren't brought forward, including by some of them some individuals that I expect to be co-signatories. Nevertheless, we are where we are, and the spirit in which she offers that support, I think, is welcome, and I think the public will want to see Parliament come together to make sure that in cases where people commit really serious crimes, we're able to remove them from the country.
Today's Commons exchange was one of the most dramatic procedural clashes Parliament has seen in recent months. The government announced a late change to parliamentary business, replacing a planned Opposition Day debate with a general debate on international affairs. Ministers argued that the worsening situation overseas required Parliament's immediate attention and that changing the schedule was the responsible course of action. Opposition MPs fiercely disagreed. Jessie Norman accused the government of avoiding parliamentary scrutiny by cancelling a debate that would have allowed MPs to question the incoming Prime Minister before Parliament rose for the summer. He argued that Parliament exists to hold governments to account and suggested the last-minute timetable change denied MPs that opportunity. The Leader of the House rejected those accusations, insisting no such motion had been formally tabled and maintaining that the decision was based on responding to unfolding international events rather than avoiding political debate. Government ministers argued that Parliament had a duty to prioritise urgent global developments affecting Britain's national interests. For viewers watching at home, this debate raises an important constitutional question. Parliament is designed to scrutinise the government, regardless of which party is in power. Whenever changes to parliamentary business occur unexpectedly, it is inevitable that questions will be asked about transparency, accountability, and the balance between responding to urgent events and preserving democratic oversight. Today's heated exchange showed just how fiercely MPs disagree over those principles. What do you think? Was the government right to change Parliament's business because of international events? Or should MPs have been given the opportunity to scrutinise the incoming Prime Minister before recess? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this coverage, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Britain Daily, and turn on notifications so you never miss the biggest Commons debates, PMQs, and breaking political news from Westminster.